Hey there, trend and viral viewers. It's time to talk about some heavy stuff war. Specifically, the top 10 biggest wars in history. We're talking about wars that reshaped maps, toppled empires, and had a profound impact on millions of lives. Throughout history, humanity has had a knack for conflict, but some wars truly stand out for their sheer size, devastating consequences, and lasting scars. Over the next few minutes, we're diving into 10 of these colossal conflicts. We'll explore the reasons behind each war and the periods in which they occurred. Let's get started. Let's start with a big one. World War II from 1939 to 1945 claimed an estimated 50 to 85 million lives. This global conflict involved more than 100 million people from over 30 countries, making it one of the most widespread wars in history. The Treaty of Versailles left Germany humiliated and economically crippled, creating fertile ground for the rise of Nazism led by Adolf Hitler. The harsh reparations and territorial losses imposed on Germany fostered a sense of injustice and resentment among its people. Hitler's expansionist ambitions in Europe and Imperial Japan's goals in Asia were major catalysts for the war. The aggressive policies and military actions of the Axis powers aimed to dominate and reshape the world order. Their surprise attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941 brought the United States into the conflict, marking a significant turning point. The U.S. mobilized its vast resources and manpower, joining the Allies in the fight against the Axis powers. The war became a battle of ideologies, democracy versus fascism. Propaganda played a crucial role in rallying public support and demonizing the enemy, with both sides using it to bolster their causes. World War II saw horrific atrocities from the Holocaust, where 6 million Jews were systematically murdered, to the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which resulted in unprecedented destruction and loss of life. The war's end led to the formation of the United Nations, an international body aimed at preventing future conflicts, and the beginning of the Cold War, a period of geopolitical tension between the Soviet Union and the United States. Amidst the darkness, there were incredible stories of courage and resilience. Resistance movements across Europe fought bravely against the occupiers, and ordinary civilians showed extraordinary bravery in the face of danger. World War II serves as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of unchecked hatred and aggression. The war left entire cities in ruins and millions of people displaced, but it also demonstrated the human capacity for recovery and rebuilding. It's a lesson we must never forget. The sacrifices made and the horrors witnessed during this period should serve as a constant reminder of the importance of peace, tolerance, and international cooperation. World War I, lasting from 1914 to 1918, was a cataclysmic event that forever changed the course of history. It shattered the illusion of a peaceful Europe, a continent that had enjoyed relative stability for decades. A complex web of alliances, treaties, and political agreements drew nations into a conflict that quickly escalated beyond control. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Sarajevo set off a chain reaction, igniting tensions that had been simmering for years. Austria-Hungary, backed by Germany, declared war on Serbia, which was allied with Russia. This triggered a domino effect, pulling more countries into the fray. World War I introduced new horrors of warfare, like trench warfare, where soldiers lived and fought in appalling conditions, and poison gas, which caused unimaginable suffering. The war had a profound impact, leading to the collapse of empires such as the Austro-Hungarian, Ottoman, Russian, and German empires. In the aftermath, new ideologies emerged, including communism and fascism, which would shape the political landscape of the 20th century. The Treaty of Versailles, intended to secure lasting peace, instead sowed the seeds for future conflicts, including the devastating World War II. The war's legacy continues to shape the world today, reminding us of the fragility of peace and the importance of diplomacy. Understanding these events helps us grasp their full significance and learn from the past to avoid repeating such tragedies. Let's move on to the next conflict as we continue to explore the complex history of the 20th century. From 1803 to 1815, Europe was embroiled in the Napoleonic Wars, fueled by Napoleon Bonaparte's ambition. Rising from humble beginnings, Napoleon's military genius reshaped Europe. The French Revolution had overthrown the monarchy, and Napoleon seized power. Napoleon launched military campaigns to spread the ideals of the French Revolution. His conquests met resistance, leading to grand battles like Austerlitz and Waterloo, The Napoleonic Wars had a profound impact, spreading revolutionary ideals and leading to lasting changes. The Napoleonic Code influenced legal systems across Europe. Let's explore another significant conflict. The 30 Years' War, spanning from 1618 to 1648, was a devastating and prolonged conflict driven by deep-seated religious tension and political ambitions. The Protestant Reformation, initiated by figures like Martin Luther, challenged the Catholic Church's authority and doctrines, leading to widespread upheaval. The Holy Roman Empire, a patchwork of territories, was deeply divided along religious lines, with Protestant and Catholic states often at odds. The war began dramatically with the defenestration of Prague, where Protestant nobles threw Catholic officials out of a castle window, igniting a fierce conflict between Catholic and Protestant factions. What started as a religious conflict soon escalated into a broader struggle for power and territory, drawing in various European monarchs and states. Foreign powers, including France, Spain, and Sweden, joined the fray, turning the war into a complex web of shifting alliances and rivalries. The war was marked by extreme brutality, with armies pillaging and burning villages, leaving a trail of destruction and suffering in their wake. The Peace of Westphalia in 1648 finally ended the bloodshed, reshaping Europe's political map and establishing a new order based on state sovereignty. The war's scars, both physical and psychological, served as a lasting reminder of the devastating consequences of religious intolerance and conflict. With the conclusion of this chapter, let's move on to the next part of our historical journey. The Korean War, from 1950 to 1953, was a tragic example of Cold War tensions erupting into open conflict. Korea was divided along the 38th parallel, with the Soviet Union supporting the North and the US backing the South. In 1950, North Korea invaded South Korea, leading to US intervention. The war became a proxy conflict with heavy casualties on both sides. The use of new weapons like napalm and jet fighters marked the war. An armistice in 1953 ended the fighting, but Korea remained divided. The Korean War highlighted the dangers of Cold War tensions. Let's delve into another significant conflict. The Vietnam War from the 1950s to 1975 was a deeply divisive conflict. Born out of Cold War ideology, it became entangled with Vietnamese nationalism. Vietnam was divided, with a communist North and a US-supported South. The US feared the domino theory and escalated its involvement. The jungle terrain and guerrilla tactics proved challenging for the US military. The war became deeply unpopular, sparking anti-war protests. The US withdrew in 1973, and South Vietnam fell in 1975. The Vietnam War left a legacy of political division and social upheaval. The American Civil War, from 1861 to 1865, was rooted in deep moral and political divisions over slavery. The election of Abraham Lincoln as president in 1860 was the breaking point. Southern states seceded, forming the Confederate States of America. The war was brutal, with new technologies making the battlefield deadly. The Union victory in 1865 preserved the United States and ended slavery. The war's legacy continues to shape American society. It serves as a reminder of the fragility of democracy and the struggle for equality. Let's explore another significant conflict. The 7 Years' War, from 1756 to 1763, was a global conflict pitting Great Britain against France. The war was fought on multiple continents for control of colonies and global dominance. Great Britain and France clashed over territory and resources. Iconic battles like the Battle of the Plains of Abraham marked the war. The war had profound consequences, with Britain emerging as the dominant colonial power. France suffered significant losses, weakening its empire. The war's high cost led to financial strains and social unrest. The 7 Years' War sowed the seeds of discontent in the American colonies. The Russian Civil War from 1917 to 1922 followed the Bolshevik Revolution. The Bolsheviks, led by Vladimir Lenin, seized power in 1917. The Civil War was a multi-sided conflict with various factions vying for control. The Bolsheviks faced opposition from monarchists, liberals, and foreign powers. The war was marked by atrocities and widespread famine. The Bolsheviks emerged victorious, establishing the Soviet Union. The Russian Civil War had a profound impact on global politics. Let's move on to the final chapter. The Crimean War from 1853 to 1856 had far-reaching consequences. The war was fought over the declining Ottoman Empire. Russia clashed with the Ottoman Empire, supported by Britain, France, and Sardinia. The war is remembered for military blunders and the horrors of war. The charge of the Light Brigade exemplified the war's tragic futility. Florence Nightingale gained recognition for her pioneering work in nursing. The Treaty of Paris ended the war but didn't resolve underlying tensions. The Crimean War set the stage for future conflicts in the region. Woo! We've covered a lot of ground, literally centuries of conflict. It can be overwhelming to grapple with the sheer scale of human suffering caused by these wars, but it's important to remember that history is not just a litany of dates and battles. It's the story of people, their choices, their struggles, their triumphs, and their tragedies. By understanding the complex web of factors that led to these conflicts, we can hopefully learn from the past and strive to create a more peaceful future. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more historical insights. See you next time.